guess I should have asked if you were ready first. We in here. Larry.
I'm not ready.
Oh, okay. Let's start over.
Not ready.
3, 2, 1. Larry.
I'm not ready. Nah, what's going on, man?
Nothing, man. I'm feeling good-ish today.
Why good-ish?
It's hot. I'm hot, sweaty all the
It's
time.
South, man.
Yeah.
And my mom was talking, well, never mind.
Okay. Back on camera. Hey, guys. I know we should stop doing that because if people were just listening to a podcast, but just wanted to throw it out there that we are on camera.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely going to be chopping some videos. I only did one last week, but I'm gonna chop some more, and then I got a whole another.
Hopefully, I don't get stacked on. I'll get stacked up like a video stacked on top.
Oh yeah, and then the top of your head cut off.
I started talking. I said, "Yeah." It's all good. You can still hear me. That's all that matters. That's what they say, at least.
They, the criticism has been heard. I've already got a plan. I'm shorter than you, so the top of the camera is a lot higher than it is for you. So I'll put you at the bottom, and then I got headroom for my picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna nod and agree.
I've noticed that sometimes I've been saying like words and and not to say that you're not intelligent, but like I said I was gonna cut some stuff and you was like, no, don't take it out. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna take it out. I'm just gonna cut.
Well, that was more so because the way it was worded, it was
Yeah.
it sounded like you would cut stuff out. I was like, why are you cutting stuff out of that?
That's not the way. Yeah.
I got it. How's your week been?
Well, just work stuff. I don't want to bore the listeners work stuff, but otherwise, I mean, it's been nice.
Yeah, but overall, it's been
Yeah,
pretty decent.
It's been nice.
My week has been trash.
What is going on?
I don't know. It's been trash.
Just a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I got a feeling. All right.
I need this to pop off so I could be a millionaire. I don't have to work anymore.
Who wants to be a millionaire? That had it said in Slumdog Millionaire.
I ain't watched that in a while. I ain't watched that.
You remember? I mean, it was like a big movie too. Like that's all people talked
was.
about back when it came out.
It really was.
I didn't do. I just thought about it. My hair is supposed to look so bad. That's probably why you even said I don't.
That's not why I asked.
Okay. All right.
I legit. Well, they don't know what I asked, but it's okay. So what's on your mind, James? What are you talking about?
Well, secret. Oh, you know what? Let's do it. Just and I know what you're probably going to say, but I'm gonna just say it anyway.
Okay.
The first 2 episodes of Secret Invasion, it's been fun. And this 3rd episode was it kind of bored me.
So we're doing spoilers or no spoilers?
It's up to you.
Let's do no spoilers.
Okay, no spoilers. I mean, I wasn't getting into. I was just saying that I feel like I shouldn't let this one episode make me feel like the whole show is boring because it hasn't been. It's just this one episode has been boring. But overall, I mean, I have been enjoying it. It just feels like the whole stakes, everything just reminds me of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Was it the pacing that got you, or like the?
I almost feel like the first time I watched it, if you all don't know, I was driving, and I have to pause because I'm doing work stuff, and then people calling. So, but the thing is, I mean, the first 2 episodes I watched while I was driving, so that shouldn't be it. So I honestly I feel like that might have had something to do with it, but excuse me, as far as the actual show. Because I did end up watching it again at home. I honestly don't remember what happened. I do remember what happened with Nick and his at-home lady.
His wife?
Yeah. I guess some people may not know that he's married.
I mean, it's not a. They may not know that, but that even with them knowing that, it doesn't give away a certain thing.
Yeah, it's not a plot point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that is probably the only thing that I remember. I think we talked about it last time. You know, you're asking. I don't know if we talked about it on an episode, but you were asking if I thought that he knew, and I said that I didn't. But now it looks like he does, which to me doesn't. It's not his character, but I mean, you know, this is a fictional character, so I don't know him.
Yeah, you don't.
I don't know what's what anymore. I'm second guessing my original thought.
Let me ask you this question. So, based on what you've seen so far of the show, are you in agreement with it being 6 episodes?
I'm ready for it to be over.
So you're okay with it being 6 episodes?
Yeah. Obviously, like I said, I felt like the whole premise, the incident should be a bigger deal, and then, you know, if that was the case, it should be more. But because it's on a lesser scale, then I guess, you know, 6 episodes should be enough. At the moment, it seems like we're just treading water. I guess things have happened enough to justify the episode so far, but I don't know, man. I don't know what it's missing.
Well, that's interesting because, like, me personally, I don't feel like it's missing anything. But maybe, and I can't speak for you.
Yeah.
But maybe I am a bigger, what's the term? Spy and espionage person than you are.
Okay.
So, like, I like the intrigue of, you know, like, doing the whole trying to figure out stuff and going behind backs and team ups, you know. But I think it's what gets me, and I've heard other people who review would say this, and I agree with them. Like, I enjoy the dialogue to a certain degree, or like the conversations between, you know, certain characters or whatever. I'm especially enjoying how they. I mean, granted, it's only been done in dialogue, but like how they make reference or they talk about rather like post blip stuff, because we never really got that for real.
Give me an example. What do you mean?
So, like, this isn't really this isn't giving anything away plot wise, but like just the fact of like Fury and just how everybody talked about, like, he's had multiple conversations with different people about like, hey, this happened and you were gone and then you came back. But when you came back, you weren't really back because you weren't yourself. And so the things that they've had to do because of that and because of, you know, him being gone or him not being himself, so they had to make certain decisions because of that. So you had to deal with that, you know, all of that. So, like, in most Marvel movies we've gotten after the blip, they don't really deal with that. It's just like, oh, we came back. All right, cool.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to touch on something called a life model decoy, LMD. But before I do that, I do want to say that one thing that I have noticed, or that I do like about the show, is that I remember when Falcon and the Winter Soldier was first coming out, and this isn't something that, you know, well, maybe it is because I see some comparisons, but I remember when it first came out that you were saying that you like the fact that it looks like it's going to be a buddy cop show. And in a way, I mean, obviously this is more spy, but I guess, you know, Fury and Talos.
I heard him say it both ways.
And I wonder if they've done it in the show.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And I almost feel like it's like buddy cop, even though they have their little spat. And that happens, actually, in buddy cop stuff. So life model decoy. They keep saying, you know, that this isn't the Fury that I know. This is, you know, he's got is different, blah, 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 blah. Life model decoys, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's when it's like pretty much a robot version of a person. And if they do end up going that route, I mean, this would be a cool way to do it. You know, just saying that actually it hasn't been Fury this whole time. Oh, you know what? Okay, now that I'm thinking about things. So in the trailers, they showed where there was 2 different versions when he was coming off the ship. One when he had a trench coat and one when he didn't have a trench coat. So let's say Fury died, and then, you know, the actual Nick Fury comes down and he's like in a trench coat, and it reveals, oh yeah, that was my life model decoy. I'm really here and I'm about to mess stuff up. But I mean, Nick Fury is still old though, so I don't know. It just seems weird, that route. But, I mean, so far things that I thought was happening hasn't happened, so stranger things could happen.
I mean, stranger things could happen as well as could watch a show called Stranger Things. I don't know. I guess this is to speak to a bigger piece. And I mean, we have had this conversation a few times, and I guess I'm trying to get to a place, and I know it's hard. It's easier said than done. But I'm trying to get to a place to where like, and this is bigger than just Marvel in general, but like, because I do watch a lot of movies and TV shows, which like I said, it's hard because I do watch a lot of TV shows and movies, but I'm trying to get to a place to where like I don't try to predict stuff, and I just watch and see what happens, and like it doesn't help that. Like I said, it doesn't help that I do watch a lot of stuff on top of the fact that like I do watch, like YouTube videos of people reacting to like a show or a movie, and like I sit there and watch them try to figure out the plot while they're watching the movie. So it's kind of like I kind of do it myself, but I'm trying to get to a place because I do that a lot. I'm trying to get to a place where like instead of me trying to watch and predict while I'm watching something, I'm just watching. And like once it's done, then I'm like, okay, either I liked it or I didn't like it, as opposed to like, oh, well, this has to happen or they're gonna do this, and then when they don't do it, now I'm even more upset because what I predicted didn't happen. You know what I mean? Like and I'm not saying this is what you do. I'm just saying this is just me personally. This is what I'm trying, because I did do that a lot when I first started watching Secret Invasion. I said, oh, what about? And I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna watch it and see what happens.
And part of me, actually the first time I watched this, or partially, got interrupted while I was watching. I was wondering if I didn't care for the episode because it wasn't going the route that I thought it was going to go. But I don't think that's what it was, and I still don't think it is. Because, I mean, usually if a movie doesn't, or a show doesn't do what I think it is, I think it's not necessarily subverting my expectations, but it's not taking the road, it's taking the road less traveled. So I'm usually cool with that. And I watched the new Mission Impossible, which I'm going to be doing a review. I got the idea for the intro. I don't know how well it's going to go.
Go with that though.
But that movie was I don't want to toot my own horn, but it was very predictable. And so I liked it, but it definitely wasn't as good as like the last, like Fallout, Ghost Protocol. And I know we're just you're just changing topics.
I mean, they're all connected. I guess too, like, and this to my original point, I guess the reason why I've thought about it more, and I think we talked about this on the last episode, or maybe because we talked about so much on and off camera, so I really it's hard to remember what we talked about on the show or off the show. But I remember us having a conversation. I remember, or at least me making a point of, I think it was in text message form, because we talked about Secret Invasion. And I think another reason why I got to the point where I'm trying to stop doing it is like, because part of the issue is I do watch a lot of movies and TVs, on top of the fact of like, and I guess the reason why I started doing it with Secret Invasion is because of it's a Marvel show, and because like I tried to make the point before, like usually Marvel, everything is connected somehow. This connects to this, or this connects to that.
Yep.
And so, like, while I was watching it, I'm sitting there trying to figure out, like, oh, how does this, I'm listening for a name. Like, what does that man name? What's this character's name? I'm looking it up on the phone, like, oh, so this is that person from this comic book, as opposed to just being like, this is a good story. I like it. I'm just gonna watch it. Which, like I said, it's easier said than done, because because like I talked about before. Like, because I do watch a lot of content, it's harder for me to watch a show, see an actor who maybe he or she is a known actor, or a face that I've at least seen before, and realize it's hard for me to see that person and be like, oh, well, they're not gonna, they're obviously gonna come back up, because why would they hire that person for this small role? So now it's like, now I know, okay, well, this person is just not a random person. I just don't know what's gonna happen. So it's kind of hard to turn that part off, but at the same time, I'm still trying to be like, I'm just gonna let them give me the story they want me to hear, and then once I see it in total, then I sit back and be like, okay. I like this, I didn't like that, but as a whole, it was pretty decent.
So, I'm just going to ignore all that stuff and ask you: do you have anybody that you think are secretly Skrulls?
That I've seen, or just who I haven't seen.
As in, like,
so like people I've seen in the show, or there's people just in the universe who I haven't seen on the show who I think is a Skrull.
Okay, now I want to know both. I was going to say
I don't have an answer either. I was just trying to understand the question.
In the show, I mean, I know like there's one that universally everybody thinks is a Skrull, but is there anybody in the show that you think is secretly a Skrull? Like, to me, so far, I mean, there's not many people that could be, because like everybody, you have Nick Fury obviously, and pretty much everybody else that he's communicated with so far has been Skrulls, except one person that we know of. Like we don't know if he is or not. So I mean, it's kind of hard to say. Well, I think this person might be, or this person, because we've already seen most of the people already are Skrulls.
And that's why I was asking the question of like, who are we talking about? People who haven't seen this, because he hasn't, like you said, we haven't really seen a lot of people in the show, and most of the people in the show that we have seen have either been Skrulls outside of like maybe a handful of people.
So disregard the question.
I'm gonna ask you the question. Like, anybody? Okay, after 6 episodes, is there anybody that we haven't seen in the show that you think the show would tell us has been a Skrull? Obviously it can't be like, oh, Chris Evans is a Skrull. I mean, I don't think Secret Invasion would do that.
Yeah.
Too big for that. But unless it's just like somebody was on a computer screen like they did with the other stuff. It was like, here's a list of Skrulls, and then you see Chris Evans' picture, like, oh, he's a Skrull. But I don't think they would hire him to come back to film a role.
Terrence Howard.
I feel like that's too easy.
I know, and I wonder. So for me, that's going to be stupid, because you have all these people who had the same face before they were Skrull, and they have the same face as a Skrull, and then all of a sudden you want to say Terrence Howard was like, now that he's a Skrull, he has a different face, and everybody believed that he was the same. It doesn't make any sense. So I was really just joking about that, just talking about all the memes. But
however, I do see a scenario where they could make that happen though.
What's that?
I'm just saying. With proper writing, they can make it work.
Facial reconstruction. He wouldn't. He didn't feel like he was dark enough. I gotta get darker, man.
I was about to say, like, if Terrence Howard was a Skrull, do you think like people around him got tired of him saying "man"? So it's like, we need you to get a different person.
You're too obvious. You're making it too obvious, man.
I ain't no Skrull, man. These Skrulls is hard, man. I'm like, what?
It's hard out here for a Skrull.
Like, wait a minute. You've been saying "man" a lot.
When I'm trying to get myself a permanent home. Don't worry.
Hey, Iron Man. What's up? You a Skrull. Yeah.
But nobody talks like that.
Yeah, Rhodey wouldn't say that. What, man? What's up, man? What's up? Skrull. I don't know. I don't really know who.
Yeah, like there's so many people nowadays. I'm trying to, because obviously they can't replicate powers, so I'm trying to think of people who don't have powers that could be Skrulls.
Well, for now they can't. Right.
I mean, so initially something happened. He put his hand on the table. Something happened to his hand, and I was like, "Well, shoot! If Skrulls could, regenerate this whole time, how are they dying so easily?" And then somebody like online was like, "Oh, it's because of such and such." I was like,
"You really didn't know?"
I didn't get it at first. No. I know. I'm usually. So I had to delete that comment because I feel real stupid.
It's all good, man.
Yeah. I wonder if he has other. I mean, does he have all of them?
Well, I think that's the thing. Like they left it up to let you know. Well, not to let you know, but to make you wonder if he does or not. Mm-hmm. You don't know.
All right. What is the end goal here? Like, obviously, if he's fighting Nick Fury and he's got superpowers, Nick Fury doesn't have any powers. So,
But are the superpowers for Nick Fury, or are they for him to just be a bigger threat to take over the world?
Right, that's what it is. But somebody has to fight him at some point, and I mean, it could be as simple as, hey, let's just nuke him and blow him up. You know, it doesn't have to be a hand to hand, you know, fight to fight, something like that. Especially if he has. Well, I mean, okay. So first of all, an issue that I had with Iron Man 3 is this guy who had the extremist powers.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, I think he was blown up or something happened, and then he came back, and then they blew him up again, and then he couldn't come back. It doesn't make any sense. So if you blow this guy up,
it's been a minute since I watched Iron Man 3.
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about, and I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember exactly like the scene where. Because I feel like there was some kind of explanation, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
It's been a while, and people usually don't go back to watch the Iron Man 2 and 3.
I actually liked Iron Man 3. I mean, there were parts, like, I didn't like the whole flip of the Mandarin,
Mm-hmm.
but, like, as a whole, it wasn't a bad movie.
To me, I compare it to the Transformers, the first 3 movies. The first one everybody loved. It was a nice hit. The second one, it was bad. People didn't really care for it. And the third one wasn't as good as the first one, but it was pretty good. It was okay to good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I actually liked the second one, too. I say it this way. I like the villain in Iron Man 2 better than the villain in Iron Man 1.
Warmonger. Okay. I don't have anything good to say about Iron Man 2 at all.
Hey man, it is what it is. I'm not saying I like 2 and 3 over 1, but I guess my point is I don't crap on as much as other people do.
I will say that I watched it not too long ago, and it was better than I thought it was going to be. That it was better than I remember it to be. So It's not as bad. It's like Spider-Man 3. I personally never thought Spider-Man 3 was bad. So I guess that's different. But I don't think Iron Man 2 is as bad as other people say it is. But it's not. To me, it's not a good movie.
Because like I said, I like the villain in Iron Man 2. I didn't like. I guess my issue with the villain was, from what I can remember, I didn't really like his motive. I didn't think he had the strongest motive, but like as a villain himself, I think he was I like the villain in 2 better than the villain in 1, but I like the motive from the first one over the motive from the 1 and 2. And then in 1 and 3, he was just kind of just out there, whatever. Oh, I came to you at a convention and asked to talk to you. You just kind of blew me off.
You didn't want to be my friend.
Yeah, I mean it was okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't, but it is what it is. So I don't know.
Good old Iron Man. I know you've been hearing about all the rumors about Deadpool 3 and I guess all the people who's supposed to be. We don't have to talk about Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty, but I'm sure you've heard about the rumor. We shouldn't be talking about rumors, just in case.
I was just about to say I have heard the rumor about Iron Man possibly showing up in Armor Wars, though.
Okay. Okay. No, I won't talk. Well, I mean, it's just rumors. What's her name? Jessica Biel. Remember she played Elektra. So they're thinking that she's gonna. What they're doing is they're obviously everything.
Deadpool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah. All these movies that's ever been created by Marvel. They're just trying to tie them all up into, I guess, the bigger universe, and then not necessarily consolidate them, but put them. It's like tying up loose ends, I guess.
Yeah, it's basically from what I've heard, it's supposed to be Deadpool kills the Fox universe.
Which sounds cool, especially since there's a comic book series where he killed the universe, I don't want to say weird because Deadpool comics are weird, but he eventually came to like the actual real world, and I don't remember how it ended, but after he killed everybody in the universe, he was like, all right, let's go to the real world.
There was a whole comic book where he somehow, I guess the Avengers were broke. And so he funded them with the money he made from his movies.
Oh, I like that.
Because he knew he was in a movie, and so he basically made a lot of money because of the movies. And so basically, the Avengers need money, and so he helped them out by paying them.
That's good. That's funny.
I don't know how the story went, but apparently that's the basic premise of it. So
would you be interested? You know, they have a Spider Gwen. Would you be interested in a Gwenpool?
Like seeing a Gwenpool?
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends on how she's introduced. I mean, I like Gwenpool from what I've seen of her. I mean, I don't really know much about her, but from what I've seen of her, I like her. But I don't really know much about her. And I don't think I would just be like, oh, she just shows up. Hey guys, Gwenpool. Like, what?
Who would you get to play her?
I don't.
I've never thought about it, but just the first person that comes to mind, Joey King, the girl that was played. I guess she was called the Prince in Bullet Train, but at the very end, she made it to the very end.
Oh, she was the spoilers, the Russian's daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's the first person to come to mind.
Well, the reason why I couldn't. Well, one, I don't be knowing actresses name like that. But then two, I didn't really know how old Gwenpool is supposed to be.
True. Yeah.
So I don't know, like, did you get like a older lady or a younger lady?
I'm sure you can. You know, she can pass because she's short.
Is she Miles Morales' age?
Yes, I think they're both supposed to be teenagers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because essentially, all the spider people are supposed to have pretty much the same kind of backstory, so they all should be the same. I say that, but you know, obviously in the movies you have the older Peter Parker, but as far as their origins, you know, maybe that Spider-Man was just further along in his story, but their origins should all be the same. So that doesn't really help.
Hey man, listen, if it ain't been in a movie, I don't know about it.
Yeah.
Or if it ain't been in a Marvel game, I don't know about it. Now I tell you one rumor, since we are talking about rumors, that if it does happen,
Okay.
I will be pleasantly
Pleasantville. Pleasantly
surprised / amped for.
Oh, I want to hear this. What is this?
So the rumor is, because you know they're doing this whole thing with Deadpool and bringing all these, you know, people to come back and reprise their roles and such. There's a rumor going around.
Okay.
Just a rumor. Your boy Channing Tatum may show up as a
I did hear that. Oh my goodness. So I mean, you know, DC did the same. Whatever. DC did it with Nick Cage and Superman, even though it looked so. I was excited for it, but it looked bad. I just the only hurdle about that is the Cajun accent. I mean, he's an actor, so I mean, I'm sure actors, they can do whatever, but that's the only thing I'm a little wary about.
But here's okay. If I'm being honest with you, I don't even care if his accent is horrible.
Give me something.
I just want. It's not even about me seeing Gambit, which Gambit is one of my all-time favorite X-Men. It's not even about me seeing Gambit. I just want to see what Channing Tatum would look like as Gambit. It's just the idea of seeing it, like, okay, because once I see it, because like I said, I could see it. It could be horrible, but you know, and then they kill him. But you know, so I'm kind of satisfied. I was like, oh, I got to see what it would be like. Or I could see it and be like, I want more.
Yeah,
and like, oh, that's what we could get. Give me more of that. Or could, you know, because I feel like it's like you know how you have like restaurants have like a soft grand opening or whatever. It's like you kind of throw it out there just to kind of see what the fans feel, because like I said, he could be Gambit in the movie for like, let's say 5-10 minutes, and fans are like, oh man, you kill him. Which fans are like, oh, he sucked, but you kill him, so you kind of satisfied. You know he's not coming back.
Yep.
Or you throw him out there for 10 minutes, and everybody's like, bring him back. And you know, like, oh,
just a variant from another universe. Yeah, it's kind of what they did with Reed Richards, and you know, to me, Reed Richards wasn't. I don't read the comics, so I don't know how he should be, but I just know that he was the whole original Fantastic Four movies, and then Fan Forced it, which nobody likes. I know that. Okay,
I liked it.
Yeah, and the original movies were very, you know, goofy, so obviously they don't want.
They were
exactly. So I just know that the John Krasinski version of Mr. Fantastic was like the complete opposite. He was just serious, and while you know, Mr. Fantastic is very. I'm not going to say like I know how he's supposed to be, but anyway.
I was going to say something, but I'll let you finish.
About Gambit. So I heard that if they do the old X-Men, that they're going to have those black, leather costumes, and I want to see Gambit when he's in a brown trench coat and everything. So if they use those X-Men and put him in that, is he going to have like the black leather?
I don't even want him to be a part of the X-Men.
Yeah, like well, I mean,
I kind of want to be how they did him.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
What's the only one he was in?
X-Men Origins. Yeah, X-Men Origins.
Yeah, I mean, not exactly like that, but just how they did it where he wasn't an X-Men, but you come across him. You see what I'm saying? Like maybe they just hopping through whatever universe they're hopping through, and they come across a guy named Gambit, and he just happens to be Gambit, Channing Tatum. But I don't necessarily want him to be like, hey, I'm part of the X-Men Gambit. Like I don't need that. Just be Gambit doing whatever Gambit does in Louisiana or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And one other thing, I've never, if you watch him, he has like black things coming up his neck. I don't know if that's like part of a uniform or a costume, clothes, whatever it is. I want to know what that is. And I know, like, you're probably thinking, like, I don't know what you're talking about. Because, he has a brown trench coat. But it's like he's got black stuff that comes up his neck to maybe, like, the bottom of his ears. And I would just like to see what the heck that is.
I'm gonna go back and look at it.
But no, I hear you. Like, especially it could be like Deadpool, because Deadpool, everybody hated the way he was in X-Men Origins, and then he was being put off with the first Deadpool movie. Mm-hmm. So with this Channing Tatum, he kept getting put off for that, and this could be his into the MCU.
Yeah, I was gonna try to imitate a horrible Louisiana accent, but I'm not gonna do it.
I'm not even gonna try. I know, baby.
Yes, baby. I'm Gambit, baby. That Creole.
I was with it.
I was gonna just name some Creole. Creole crawdad, swamp gators. I don't know. that's all I know about Louisiana. Rana, yeah, magic.
Oh, that is one person I do want to see, Brother Voodoo. Brother Voodoo.
I doubt that's gonna happen.
I feel like it might.
I feel like he's too much of a. I'm not gonna say what they call it? Not obscure, but what's the term for it? Deep dive, deep pool, whatever. Oh, yeah. I see what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know. I just always thought it was part of the costume.
Yeah, it may just be alone, like it could. Anyway, I don't want.
I just thought it was just part of like his a head thing.
That could be it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just like that. So Voodoo, it intrigues me, not to the point that I want to get active in it or anything, but it's like it's magic, but it's real world magic. Like it's actually here in our world. And when people.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, when people think of magic, they think of like sleight of hand stuff. It doesn't really exist, but this is like if magic was to exist, voodoo would be one of those that do exist.
So you want a guy in the MCU who has friends on the other side?
Yes, Shadow Man. Yes, sir.
I got friends on the other side.
I've seen that movie one time, so I can't really. I don't really know any of the lines or anything.
I just remember the song which I saved in my playlist, so I listen to quite often. It's actually a good song. Are you ready? Oh, I'm not going.
All right, don't go too hard, man. You might get copyright strike.
But I get what you're saying. It's more grounded magic.
Mm-hmm. And then he's black. He's got dreads. I mean, it's
he's definitely not getting put in the
what?
A black guy with dreads doing magic, they're not gonna put him in the movie.
I think it has so much potential. And at some point, he was like the Sorcerer Supreme. So,
definitely not. No, we're gonna have this black guy with dreads who used to be a Sorcerer Supreme over this white guy Benedict Cumberbatch. Nah.
I mean, eventually, somebody's gonna have to.
He could be extra walking on the street. Hey, when you watch him, is that Brother Voodoo back there? No, it's just extra. Drinking some Starbucks coffee.
Oh, I got no chance. Well, here, you can talk to my friends on the other side.
He's just gonna turn around. Are you ready?
Baby.
Yeah. I like Louisiana. But no, I mean, all jokes and rumors aside, if what I've heard so far about the movie happens, I don't know, man. It's I feel like it's kind of like, I could be wrong. I feel like it's kind of going the same route as a No Way Home.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I was
to where it's like you hear all these rumors, everybody's like, "Wow, that can't be true. That ain't gonna happen." And then even with the rumors, you like, even if it does happen, I'm so spoiled. I'm spoiled. I'm just not gonna hit the same. But then you watch it and all the stuff like, it's true. It all came true, and you like, it's so much nostalgia.
So yeah, and I don't know which way you're going with that, but there are some people online who were like, "Oh, this is nostalgia. It means it's a good movie." And just because you have Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in a Deadpool movie, that doesn't make it a good movie. I need you just don't give me fan service to what's the word? Hide.
To accommodate.
Yeah, to hide, a bad story. I don't want to say bad story, but give me good story along with nostalgia.
Oh yeah, no. It's definitely, you definitely want that. The only issue I have with the Deadpool movie so far, and I've heard a few people talk about this, and I agree with them, is because they are filming now,
mm-hmm.
and it's like you're filming during a writer's strike, mm-hmm. which part of the movie process is like you write a script, come up with a script, you workshop and do whatever, then you start filming, mm-hmm. and of course things change, visions change. Like, you think of something on the spot, or mm-hmm. especially with a character like Ryan Reynolds, or an actor like Ryan Reynolds who does a lot of improvisation or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's like that kind of helps the process, but because you're in a writer's strike, you can't improv, you can't change anything while you're filming it. Unless like you go back and change stuff like post after the strike or whatever. But like if you're filming during the strike, like even if you come up with a great idea during the movie, like, oh, what if we had, even if it's something simple as like, hey, scratch this line, Hugh Jackman, say this. You can't do that because you can't change the script, because per the writer's strike, you can't make any changes. You got to film exactly what's on that page as is.
That could be, I think, a good thing and a bad thing. Because while Ryan Reynolds is great, he's funny, like with everybody, there's hits and misses. So I feel Deadpool 2 mm-hmm. is more improvised than Deadpool 1. And, while people like Deadpool 2, I didn't care for it. If Deadpool 3 was more like Deadpool 1, I would be a happy guy.
But I hear what you're saying as far as like, but that's a whole different thing, because comedy in itself is subjective. Like, why you didn't like it, somebody else somebody else freaking loved it.
Yeah.
Right. I'm more so talking about like if you have a change for a story item or a story plot line, like
right.
Oh, we want to tighten this plot up, this whatever action scene. Instead of doing this, we want to tighten that up, or let's have it to where this guy shows up earlier. You can't do that. Mm-hmm. So like the story is going to be what the story is. So like you have to have faith that the story that you came up with before you started filming is a good enough story, because you can't make any changes to it while you're filming.
Yeah. So obviously the writer's strike isn't going to last forever.
No.
And when it's over, they can do reshoots, but reshoots cost money. So mm-hmm. that can limit how much you can do. That can limit what you do, especially if your story has already been, written, recorded, and everything. Then you're limited. So there is a saving grace, but at the same time, it would be better if there was no writer's strike.
Well, that, and you can also do like, what's it called, ADR, where you do like voice, especially with Deadpool because he has the mask.
I don't want to talk about it. Because that is the biggest reason I didn't care for Deadpool 2.
Oh, because you feel like it was ADR?
There was a bit, yeah, because there's the scene where, so from what I understand, mm-hmm. Deadpool 2, they test screened everything, and a lot of people like Domino. Mm-hmm. So they said they wanted more Domino in the movie.
Okay.
And during the scene where, they're chasing the bus, the train, whatever it is, and you can tell that scene was very heavily reshot, and then you can tell, like, it just, like, when Deadpool was driving on a motorcycle, you can tell that's ADM or whatever you call it. You can just tell that whole scene, it just seems wrong.
I have to go back and watch it. Because my first thought is to say I didn't have an issue with it, but then again, It's been a while since I've seen Deadpool 2. I don't know, but you did make me think about another issue I'm going to have with Deadpool 3.
Okay.
Is from what I'm hearing, there will be no Diamond on Cable.
Yes, I did hear that. Which I
loved.
I did. I liked Diamond.
I liked both of them.
Cable was, he was just there. He was.
Well, your issue is plot wise you didn't like it,
Sure.
but as the character representation of Cable, he was a good Cable. Now, could the script allow for him to do more or have a bigger, character arc or, be more involved? Possibly, in your mind, maybe. But just the fact that he's not going to be in it at all, especially leaving off from Deadpool 2, is kind of like...
Cable was supposed to be, and here I go with terms, an omega level mutant.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he's got the tech, whatever, things holding him back. But okay, all right, I'll just leave it alone. He should have been a lot. He should have been more.
What if I made the argument that and this is probably a weak argument, but what if I made the argument that you are wanting him to be the culmination in the comics compared to an introduction in the movies?
Okay. And I can't speak for, where he started. I can't speak for that. Well, I know, obviously, I know he hasn't always had the virus.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I guess, yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, that's the only thing I can see.
Yeah.
Because again, it's been a minute since I watched the movie, but just based on my memory of Deadpool 2, he wasn't really... Stuff happened in the future, and then he just went back in time. Like he wasn't really he hadn't been doing it for a long time, and so he just met Deadpool, and then of course they went on that whole whatever movie. So he hadn't really gotten to a point where he was really the time traveling Cable that he was, from what I remember from comics. Well, not comics, but animated stuff. So he wasn't really the full on Cable. He was more so just kind of getting into it, dipping his toe in, hey, I'm on this one singular mission because I'm trying to stop this guy from causing something that happens in the future. And that's it.
Yeah, so I know, and it's irrelevant to everything you just said, but I know that he has psychic powers, and he's using some of the psychic powers to kind of keep the virus at bay, so he's not as powerful because he has to constantly do that. He didn't use the psychic powers at all in the movie, but to go against somebody who doesn't have any kind of powers except regeneration, obviously you have to tone him down, and the MCU toned down quite a few people, so I can't be mad at that. And if he had psychic powers going against somebody who can, create fire, that should be real simple. You can just crush somebody's skull or something like that.
Yeah.
So, I guess I can tone it down. I can.
Well, that's part of the reason why, I know we had a conversation about this. I know we talked about this on a previous episode, to where I'm kind of grateful that I don't have previous knowledge of stuff, because I come into it just taking what's been given. I mean, I have generic knowledge of, I watched a show and they did, or I played this game or whatever, or maybe I saw a few pages of a comic book that somebody else showed me or a video or whatever. So I have a little bit of some pre-knowledge, but not no vast amount of it, because I don't do a lot of research or whatever. So when I do get new characters introduced to me or whatever, I'm just oh, I remember that name. Oh, that's cool that they're bringing this person in, but I don't have no preconceived oh, he or she is supposed to be, and they got taken. You know what I mean? I don't have that, because I guess it's a double-edged sword, because it's I don't have the pre-knowledge of what they're supposed to be, on top of the fact of I know, and maybe this is just my real life mind over my movie watching mind, but I know also what happens in the comics is not going to be what happens in the movies. So of course they're going to rewrite stuff to do whatever. And I want to say it was Stan Lee that said it.
Anybody can beat anybody. Depending on the writer.
I think it was something like that. It was something along the lines of like, like the writer is undefeated basically. And so when I think about stuff like that, and when I watch stuff like I get like, even though I can see the arguments people make, like, oh, well, this person, he has this powers and this power is supposed to do this, and I was just like, but I mean, they wrote it the way they want to write it. So I mean, I can't.
Yeah, I was going to say that you don't have these expectations of what this character should be.
No.
Yeah. So another thing that I was thinking of, so just to put it in terms that you're the one that's talking about this, but
I had another thought, but I'm gonna let you finish.
So it's like basketball, you know the previous, years of basketball, what teams used to be, and I guess storylines, let's just call them, even though they're not like
they have storylines,
yeah. As opposed to some woman who somebody, let's just not say some woman, but somebody who watches basketball for the first time and it's just a whole bunch of people going up and down the court.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think the point I just thought about too was I think where we differ is you are a person or people like you or who have this information. Like you'll come in like, okay, example, Adam Warlock. You come in expecting Adam Warlock to be here, right? And then the writers will write him to be here. So it's like, oh, well, your mind, like, he should be greater than that. For me, because I don't have so much knowledge of the characters, but the characters I do have some knowledge of, I'm more so expecting not them to be a certain power level or to be a certain way. I'm more so like, oh, well, like, okay, for instance, like I text you about the picture with Wolverine. Like when he was like, oh, he better say bub. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's the stuff I do. Oh, well, you gotta say bub. Or like, you can't have Gambit and he be from like Kentucky. Like, he gotta be from Louisiana.
Right.
That's the stuff that kind of throws me off. Like, now whether he's powerful or if he's defeated easily, if it fits in the story, I'm not gonna really care. But I more so want the characteristic, like oh, he looks like him. Oh, that's the outfit. Oh, he got the gun that I remember from the show. Like that's the stuff I be looking at.
So I don't know how to translate this to. So I can look past some things because I love Guardians of the Galaxy 3, even though I don't feel that Adam Warlock is. And I mean, he was just born, so I mean that's you can let that go. But I love the movie despite the fact that I didn't think that Adam Warlock should be where he was. And the same thing with the first Deadpool. Even though as far as his character and his personality and everything was Deadpool, I knew that he had a teleporter, and at no point in the first or the second movie has he used a teleporter. I mean, I guess he had the time machine, which I guess teleportation is some kind of form of time travel in a way. It didn't take away, at least from the first movie. And the reason that I didn't like the second movie had nothing to do with the teleporter. So if the person is not what I expect them to be, it's okay if I enjoy the movie. But if the movie to me isn't good, then I guess the person not being who it plays. I'm not gonna say it plays more into a factor, but it's a little bit more. I can't over.
It's more noticeable.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I get that because I'm the type of person to where like also I think we talked about this too, like when it comes to like CGI stuff or just other stuff in general, like even when a comedy, like even if something as simple as comedy, because like I said, comedy is subjective. Like me and you both can watch a comedy movie, right? Even if let's say it's a movie that you find hilarious, right? And I ain't really laughing that much. As long as I'm still invested in the story, it can still be a good movie to me, even if the movie wasn't funny. So just like with Flash, like with the whole CGI, like some of the CGI wasn't that great, but I was still invested in the story to the point to where like I really cared about that.
And somehow I liked the movie more than you did.
You liked it more than me?
I believe I did. It was, I at what point I said that I really liked the movie, and you was like, it was okay.
I don't know, James, because I feel like maybe I downplayed it because I definitely got teary-eyed quite a few times.
Okay. So
I feel like I really liked it. I feel like I was saying that because of the fact of like I don't know where we go from here. Right? It's just kind of like this is a good movie, but like it's all right because I don't know where we're going. It's just like So what happens next?
Yeah, it's almost not because I know you never. Every time I've said, it was a point. For you, it's like the journey. It doesn't have to have a point. If you enjoyed the movie, you enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's almost saying like, what's the point of the movie? But I know you don't feel that way.
I mean, but even though I agree with what you're saying, however, that doesn't matter to me.
Mm-hmm.
But because I am a part of the real world, I do often wonder, like, oh, what happened? Where are we going from here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I still have those thoughts, but those thoughts don't stop me from enjoying the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you make it and there's no sequel, I'm like, oh, that was a great movie.
Yeah.
I was gonna make. I'm not gonna piss you off.
Oh no!
I'm not gonna piss you off.
I
was gonna say, even though like I enjoyed. I'm not saying I enjoy greatly.
Mm-hmm.
It's a watchable movie.
Oh my goodness, where are we going?
I find The Last Airbender watchable.
Okay, all right. Thank you for all the disclaimers.
I'm not saying it is a great movie.
Yeah.
I'm saying if I had cable TV and it was playing on TNT, and I just turned and say, "Oh, Last Airbender."
Yeah,
I'm okay with watching it because there's moments that I still like about it. That I'm like, okay, I can watch this, as opposed to me being like, you know what?
I'm going to sleep.
It's been a minute since I watched that Last Airbender. Hey, let me put that on real quick. Let me pop over the DVD and put that in. I'm not doing that.
You know, I own the DVD. I don't know.
You might as well buy Dragon Ball Evolution.
I have that DVD too.
Why?
Because it's Dragon Ball and it is Avatar.
But is it Dragon Ball?
Yeah, no.
Or are there Dragon Balls in it?
I have to. Even though
there's Dragon Balls in the movie, but that is not Dragon Ball.
Leave me alone.
There's a Caucasian boy named Goku with a head of hair while walking around. Saying, yeah.
Oh, and I'm thinking about Piccolo. Piccolo is probably the best part of the movie, and he was barely even in it.
Yeah. There wasn't even no Vegeta.
No, which is, it wasn't supposed to.
I know, but you might as well.
Yeah.
The best parts were Piccolo and then what's the guy who got his girl taken by Vegeta? Yamcha?
Yeah. I don't know why. Yeah, that's him.
He was because the only reason why he's one of the best parts is I was like, he feels like the anime.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Yamcha. All right. Yeah. I was like, he's from the anime.
He understood the assignment.
Yeah. He did character research. He's like, this is my guy.
Yeah.
Everybody else is like, yeah, Dragon Ball.
Trying to win an Oscar here.
Yeah.
With this horrible
My
script.
name's Chi-Chi. And I like you, Goku.
That was Jamie Chung, too. Oh, wow. I like Jamie Chung. I'm not going to speak about anything else about her, but I like her.
I take that back.
Okay.
And I liked
Bulma? Oh, Master Roshi.
Was
Chow Yun-Fat?
Yeah. I liked him. He was cool. He wasn't completely the old guy from Dragon Ball, but he felt like an anime character.
Exactly. For the universe that they put him in, I think that he did.
Right. He did the best he could with what he was given.
You know what? I actually think him more of a Jiraiya than because
I can see him playing Jiraiya.
Yep.
Speaking of which, since you bring that up,
okay.
I know they probably shouldn't do this,
no.
and I know they do a lot of movies like this. But I feel like if you were to adapt any anime into a live action movie, I feel like Naruto would be an easy one to do.
Yeah, before it starts getting grandiose, most definitely.
Because all it is just ninjas having different powers and running fast.
Yeah, and I'm trying to. So the first fight that I can think of is Zabuza, the guy with the executioner sword, so he.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, all right, yeah. So I think that one it's very small. What's the word? It's small scale, and I think done right, it can be great.
But I mean, even with that, even if you do him, even if you do like you get real deep into it, you know, you can do some of the other stuff like Orochimaru and turn into a snake. Like, even if you do that, the world itself, like, even if you're just building up the world, it's an easy world to get into because it's not like you have to do. It's not like you have to do like a stretchy arm going 100 miles, which, you know, it's ninjas basically. And you know how many ninja movies there have been?
I love Ninja Assassin, but yeah, I hear you.
So I'm saying like, it's easy because I feel like if you start off kind of basic. You introduce the different villages, all the different clans or whatever. And then by the time you get into like a second movie or third movie, it kind of gets into that, you know, that crazy world. It's not hard.
Shoot, the first movie you don't even have to mention because, you know, you can just do the Chunin exams or whatever it is, the Chunin exams. And, you know, Naruto is the outcast. People don't like him, and he's going to, you know, kind of prove himself. And how else to do it? To beat the prodigal, the prodigal, it's not the prodigal child. The star people, whatever, the guy that has the most potential.
And you show Sasuke's family being killed.
Oh, yes.
And then all you do is you slowly introduce the what they call
the other teams.
Akatsuki.
Okay, yeah. Because his brother's the Akatsuki. Listen here.
That's all you got to do.
Listen here, we are.
It's not really a hard concept.
No. And I feel like Avatar: The Last Airbender to started off something like this, and then how did it just spiral out of control?
They lost me at Ang.
Yeah, the very beginning.
What's her name? Ang. even something as simple as like, because I don't know if you've seen like the teaser trailer for the new, or not the teaser, because it wasn't the teaser trailer, the pictures.
Yeah.
The pictures that came out online, the new characters.
Yep.
Just the difference of the arrow on his head versus the arrow we got from the last Airbender movie. I was like, that's already better.
Yeah.
I will say this though. I know you don't like the last Airbender. I'm sorry, my bad. I'm just telling. I know you don't like the last Airbender, but that was a nice opera.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Most definitely.
Opera was a good. He looked great. I will say I like the look of what's the brother's name?
Okay, I thought you were gonna say Zuko. Sokka.
I like the look of Sokka from the movie over the picture from the new Sokka.
I don't remember. I actually don't remember the new pictures. Like I know I saw them, but I just don't remember.
I just know I like the movie Sokka over him because it was just like. I don't know, man. His face.
Well, you know, one of the original things that they had problems with the original movie is that, you know, the diversity. So you said his face. I mean, I don't remember. So they're supposed to be like maybe Inuit, you know, kind of like Native American-ish. Do they look Native American-ish?
I don't think so, honestly.
Or are they all supposed to be like the South Asian? I can't remember which one, but
that's the new Sokka.
Oh, he looks, you know, Native American. Interesting, but no, he like when I think of the cartoon, he don't give me cartoon vibes.
He also looks older than what the cartoon is too.
That's interesting. Is Katara older than him?
From the show, she's supposed to be younger.
Okay.
Because he's like the older brother.
Okay.
Or I don't know. Well, okay, I'll say it this way. I think he's older, like maybe by a few years. So it's not like a big difference.
Yeah.
But he is technically older than her.
Gotcha.
Because even she looks.
She does. Yeah, they both look kind of Native American-ish.
Yeah.
So that's good. He, I did
Ang.
it. I did it. This is, yeah.
He looks a whole lot better.
Yeah, he definitely looks South Asian. And Zuko, I don't know what he would suppose to be.
Me personally, I prefer the other Zuko.
Oh, okay. So
From
that's
the movie.
That's Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah, I liked his look better.
Okay. Well, I mean, he's in all armor here. I don't know.
That is true. You can't really see.
Yeah.
I also need his was his grandfather,
Uncle Iroh.
Uncle. Yeah, I also need him to be fat.
Yeah. Yes, because he wasn't fat in the other one.
No, he was wise like the Uncle Iroh from the show, but I needed him to be a little bit more portly.
Yeah, that does kind of it gives extra character to him, but just because he was so, like you said, wise, capable, and just like he
ate a lot in the show.
Yeah, it's like because he I guess maybe it plays into like maybe the Buddhist kind of mindset even.
So.
Yeah, so it's telling a story without telling a story. Like visually, it's giving you character. It's just character character traits without actually telling you anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you watch? I think you watched Legend of Korra.
I did.
Did you like it?
I did not. And my biggest gripes were she was annoying. I know she's a teenager, so I mean I can understand that, but it could have been done better to me. So going 4 seasons of just I hate you. Oh, but I need friends. But no, get away from me. It's just it was not very fun to watch.
It still gives me one of my favorite Avatar moments though, man.
Which one is that?
I don't remember why they were doing it, but it was like it was Kara, the chick. They were riding in the car and they were chasing somebody, and you had old buddy out the side slinging the rocks as like bullets. Just like, I was like, come on, man.
And they did.
I was like, yes.
And they're trying to come up with new stuff. So I mean, it's just a product of being a new. And so I'm excited to hear they made a studio. So it sounds like they're just about to start cranking up stuff, which could be a bad thing.
Yeah, because I think they got the live action movie, and then they got another animated show coming out too
with the original characters but older.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, it sounds great, but I don't need this to get like Star Wars.
I feel like it's different than Star Wars though, and here's the reason why.
Okay.
I feel like it's different because I feel like what Star Wars did was, which is not necessarily a bad thing, and maybe this is not what you're referring to.
Okay.
But like, I feel like what Star Wars did is like, hey, people like Star Wars. What else can we make? Hey, that guy that was cleaning up the bar in the back corner. What's his story? Give him a show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying that's what they did, but that's essentially what they did. As opposed to Avatar, it's like, we're at least going to start with what people loved first, and then we maybe branch out from there. But at least, like they did what Harry Potter should have did, instead of like recasting people. Obviously they grew up. Let's just do an older version of them and do that, because you still get the characters you liked, but now they're a little bit older. Because what Kara did was, I guess the reason why I somewhat like Kara is because you did have certain flashbacks of Aang when he was older, but you didn't get to see what actually happened. It's like he was kind of around, some of the older characters were around, like, what's the Toph? Mm-hmm. So it's like you kind of got to see them older, but you really get to see their story where it left off from the original show. So at least with them doing the older version, now you get to kind of see some of that, as opposed to like, hey, you like Avatar? We're going to give this firebender who grew up way over there, give him a show and let him tell his story about how he became a firebender and he played around in lava. Right.
So, about Harry Potter being older, I know obviously there's going to be some people that's like, they love the Harry Potter franchise as it is, just leave it, but whatever. So for me, I'm going to see it anyway. But the issue, and it's not an issue that I have with comics, but the thing that I've kind of noticed with comics is no matter how old or how young or how these comic book characters don't age, there is always a threat. And, for street level, people, obviously there's always crime. Mm-hmm. But for, like, there's a new supervillain that comes out, just about, and these people, like Peter Parker is probably, from high school to college has fought so many darn world-ending threats that when does this guy ever have time to sleep?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you agree or believe this, but you know what they say, right?
What's up?
Like, if you have a superhero, the superhero, just by being a superhero, creates new threats often.
Yeah, but okay. So obviously, I know this is fiction, and obviously, people want to have more stories with their characters. I understand that, but applying logic, this is me. This is what I do, and you don't even have to. I already know that I shouldn't be doing this, but just coming from a realistic standpoint, if you were a superhero, you go out there and you stop, Kingpin from taking over a neighborhood. All right, that's low level, whatever. You come home, go to sleep. Now somebody's trying to blow up the Earth, so you got to go with the Avengers. This is just tomorrow. You got to get with the Avengers, fly from space, go save. You come back a week later, you chill at home, but then you got Sandman trying to rob a bank. It's I'm about to say it's unrealistic, but I know it's a comic book, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. But that's just what I think of. So
you know what you're describing, right?
What's that?
You're describing an unrealistic comic book version of being a police officer.
That is, yeah, yeah.
Because you got to stop this bank robbery. You got to stop this car theft. You got to stop this. You got to join the SWAT team who's taking care of a hostage situation. You got the person who's trying to jump off the building. You got to talk him down. That's
a good point. In my eyes, it's not like big things happening all the time. But I also thought when I was a tow truck driver that surely people didn't need, their car towed. And man, was I wrong. I was doing. Yeah, no, I definitely. I love towing cars, but I would not go back to that job.
You'd be surprised.
So to tie that back to Harry Potter, the reason I was saying that is because you had Voldemort, you had this big old threat, and then he's finally dealt with, and now in the same lifetime, what kind of threat are you going to give Harry Potter that warrants another series?
I don't know, man.
But obviously you have Voldemort's followers.
I was just about to say you got that.
So you can
have a copycat.
Yeah, nobody's going to be as powerful as him, but it can be done. I mean, anything can be written.
Or if you get like a group of wizards who together are as strong as him.
That's what I was thinking when I was saying what I was just saying. Yeah.
Or if you get somebody who's he may not be as strong as Voldemort, but he's more maniacal and he's more strategic to where he can cause chaos that way.
What I don't need to happen is for there to be a group that was secretly like Voldemort that was a part of or conspiring with behind the scenes, because then you're just taking away from how much of a villain he was. And I don't like that's and I'm not saying they took away John Wick's and I'm just going all over the place.
But it's in my mind it ties together. I don't know if they see that.
But yeah, you're taking away. So John Wick was this all powerful just killer, and now through each successive movie, it just seems like he's less and less. But again, like you said, the first 3 movies were like within a span of a week, and you did mention that. That makes sense. Obviously, this man is be up weary, all that stuff. So I understand that. But
well, then also like you start off with the first John Wick where he's fighting a crime family to where he's fighting an organization, and today he's fighting everybody in the world. Yeah. So it's like I'm cool with just fighting these 5 people, but I can't even walk around the street without somebody trying to attack me. It's like I can only be great so much, man.
That actually puts a better perspective on it. That does make a lot of sense.
I wonder if they still gonna do this show, the Continental show.
I remember we looked it up, and it was like when we looked it up, did they say it was still on?
From what I remember, they were going to do it, but I don't know. I don't remember it saying when though. I feel like it did, but it was a while ago since we looked it up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'd probably still watch it.
Yeah, I would. I know me and TV shows have not been. Listen, I have been watching so much YouTube. I don't know why the heck. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with me, man. I know.
Like what do you watch on YouTube?
Just videos about basketball, videos about movies that's coming up. The Witcher, like I've gotten through an episode and a half, and I like The Witcher. I like the first 2 seasons. I think it was 2. I don't know what's going on. Like I don't think this season is worse. I don't know.
I don't know. Like for me personally, like I watch a lot of YouTube videos, but like I watch. Here's how I look at it. Okay, so for me, there's TV shows, and then there's YouTube videos.
Yep.
So for me, TV shows are what I watch when I'm really just want to actually like actively watch something.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube videos I watch when I just don't be feeling like giving my full attention. I'm like, it's just on.
Yep.
I may check in and out, but I'm still hearing it. But I'm not really like, ooh, what's happening next? You know. But like, if I want to do that, I'll put on an actual show, which I'm still trying to get through. And you don't watch anime like that. I finished all of Black Mirror, but I'm trying to get through the Chainsaw Man right now, which it is an interesting show.
It sounds interesting.
It's a good show. It has some moments where I'm just like, this is what we're doing. Like, okay, I give you a moment. This doesn't give away anything.
Okay.
So the main guy, he grew up basically poor.
Okay.
Like impoverished, all that. Like so poor to the point to where like a dream of his was to get money to where he can eat bread with jam on it. That was a dream of his.
That's a very anime thing.
Like he wanted he had like this little pet growing up. He was like, when I get some money, we'll get some bread. We're gonna have jam on it, and we're gonna live like. And then he doesn't get any money, but he finally, through certain circumstances, gets to a point where like he lives a better life. Mm-hmm. And so he was like, oh man, I found out I'm taking a bath. Oh, this is like all this kind of stuff. So on his list of things that he wants to do is he wants to kiss a girl. Because he's never touched a breast, he's never kissed a girl, never done anything. So he finally kisses this one girl. They like him and a whole bunch of people like in his new job or whatever. They're out celebrating, they're drinking. So she promised him if he did a certain thing for her, she would give him his first kiss, and he was like, bet. So he went and did it or whatever. So they out celebrating. He was like, hey, what about that kiss? She was like, oh, I'm a little too sober. Just wait. Okay. So they continue celebrating. She's drinking. And then finally, she was like, come here. She gives him a kiss. So the kiss is like tongue wrapped around tongue.
All right.
Like, okay, all right. Happy for you, sir. Then she starts throwing up down his throat.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, what?
Oh my goodness.
What? What just happened? There's also another scene where like, this is before that, there's another chick that he's like a teammate with.
Okay.
And so she asked him to help her with like some personal mission. And she was like, if you help me, I'll let you feel my breast. And he was like, cool. Mm-hmm. Sounds like a plan to me. He goes, they do the mission, he helps her out. And she was like, you ready to get your reward? He was like, bet. So he starts feeling on him. He was like, this feels great. And he's having the time of his life. Then comes find out, she had on like this little push-up thing, so her breasts weren't as big as they seemed. Okay. So they fell out, and he was like, "Oh, what happened?"
Wait, so you said they fell out? I mean, like, were they saggy or were they
just... They fell out from under the shirt, like they fell out on the ground.
So they were saggy?
No, they just, hers was just small.
So the bra just fell out?
Yeah,
okay.
So the bra fell out. And so he was like, what is that? And she was like, everybody wears them. And she was like, here, claim your reward. So the first time he grabbed them, they felt like full. So then the bra things fall, the whatever falls out. So then he grabs it again. He was so disappointed. He was like, this is...
Little Chesley loves you, but I understand. It's anime. It's anime. That's
fine. I was like, poor guy.
So what is it about? This guy, does he have chainsaws for hands, arms?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah, I want to know.
So, okay. So in this world, there's these things called devils.
Okay.
So there's like a gun devil, a fox devil. And so some people can make contracts with them. So if you make a contract with the devil, you gain like these powers or whatever. Mm-hmm. So like growing up, he came across this little animal, which is like a little chainsaw, which is a chainsaw devil. And so he ends up becoming like a devil hunter, like working for this guy who kills devils, and then he pays him so he can have money to eat and stuff like that. Which he don't make a lot because he still is upset like some of his organs and stuff just to have money. And so something happens to where like he goes to the guy calls him and says, "Hey, I need you to come kill this devil for me." So he's like, "All right, cool, bet." So he shows up with this little chainsaw devil, and turns out he was being double crossed. And so the zombie devil ends up killing him. And so the chainsaw devil basically says, "Hey, I'm not going to let you die, so I'm going to fuse with you. So I'm going to give you my heart." So now he lives inside of him. His heart resides inside of him. So whenever he wants to fight, he has like this little string that he pulls, and like he has like chainsaws comes out of his arms, and ones that comes out of his head or whatever. And so like he basically can chop up stuff, and then it goes back to a regular person.
Chainsaw comes out of his head.
Yeah.
Okay.
You haven't seen it?
I can imagine what it looks like. It just so many things have come to mind.
Chainsaw Man.
All right. If you like it, I love it.
It's a good show. I mean, I like it.
Have you seen that meme where it's like things that black people say that don't mean what they mean? So it's like when people say, "If you like it, I love it," they really think it's. Oh no, that is not what I was thinking. Oh, that actually looks kind of cool.
So yeah, and he can. So the chainsaws that he can. What's the term I'm looking for? Well, he can pull them back in if he needs to or whatever. But yeah, they basically they come out between his arm and like it splits his hand, so the chainsaw comes out like right there.
I'm thinking of something like that.
No, yeah. So, but yeah, it's a decent little show. Like I said, that's what the chainsaw the little petty had before.
This is like an evil version of Yokai Watch.
I'm going to say yes. 'Cause I don't know who. I'm assuming that's a Pokemon.
No, it's an offshoot of Pokemon.
Oh, so it's a
Pokemon part.
It's a cheap brand, Dollar Tree brand.
Yeah, exactly. Pokemon? This is another. I was thinking like the chainsaw would come, but anyway.
I'm gonna say. I was like, they have no idea what we're looking.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, but like I said, everything I took. Well, besides the breast and the kiss thing, everything about what happens all that's in the first episode. But then of course some other stuff happens later on.
So did you see her breast? Like, is it what's the like, or is it like her back was towards the camera? I'm not trying to be creepy, but like I know.
When he was filling them up?
Yeah, I know anime don't really show.
It was over the shirt, but you can see him grabbing them.
I was gonna say anime don't really show stuff like that, so
man, some anime can get there.
I know back in the day they used to.
I mean, it's still not full on nudity, but like they still you see enough.
Yeah.
But nah, it's over the shirt.
Gotcha.
So.
I think we got time to talk about Jim Carrey versus Ryan Reynolds.
You can if you want to.
All right, we'd have to look up their filmography. So this is I guess for this week I was thinking we can compare the careers of Jim Carrey versus Ryan Reynolds.
Who do you want to do?
Okay, so I think Jim Carrey has a better career over Ryan Reynolds. But last week I got to pick who I thought had the better career, so I'll take Ryan Reynolds this time.
Why? You worried, James?
What? No.
You don't think you're not as confident in Jim Carrey's career?
No, I am. I would stand by. I think Jim Carrey had the better career.
Okay.
Yeah, I just saw I saw one. He's been in a lot more movies than I thought he was.
Ryan Reynolds has been working, man.
Okay. All right. So
we're doing 10.
Yeah, top 10.
So you want to know my 10?
Go for it.
Of Jim Carrey.
Yep.
And this is no way your top 10, but this is my 10.
Okay.
I'm gonna start from the bottom.
Yeah.
And work my way up.
Oh shoot, I haven't seen that one.
And he went back. He started working in '81. Wow. Oh, he was in The Deadpool in 1988.
Okay.
I have no idea what that is.
I haven't even heard. Was it, what, Dirty Harry Purple?
I have no idea. You got Dumb and Dumber.
Okay.
You got Mask.
Oh, yeah, he wins.
You got Ace Ventura.
He definitely wins.
I'm not gonna count Batman Forever because it's not his movie.
Okay.
Liar, Liar.
Mm-hmm.
The Truman Show. I personally like The Cable Guy. I'm not the biggest fan of Me, Myself, and Irene.
Yeah.
I like it, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not a rewatchable movie to me.
Yeah.
The Grinch. I like Man on the Moon, but I wouldn't put it on my list. Bruce Almighty. Fun with Dick and Jane.
Mm-hmm.
I like Yes Man. I Love You. I don't think I saw that. Anchorman.
I guess you can't count Anchorman because it's not his movie, but that's.
Oh yeah, because he wasn't. I'm tripping. That's about it.
All right, so
is that 10?
I stopped
think
counting.
so.
I think you're just naming the movies that you like that he was in.
But it's okay. So all right. I'm gonna do my 10. You can. So Dumb and Dumber.
Yep.
Mask.
Yep.
Ace Ventura.
Yep.
And that's both of them.
Yep.
Cable Guy.
Okay.
Truman Show.
Okay.
Liar, Liar.
Okay.
I'm gonna do Grinch.
Okay.
Bruce Almighty.
Yep.
Fun with Dick and Jane.
9.
Oh, and I said Yes Man.
Okay. All right. So Blade Trinity, he's not the lead there. I think Amityville Horror he was, but I'm not counting that. It wasn't a very good movie. Waiting he was, but I fell asleep on it. I know you like Smoking Aces, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was like an ensemble, so I wouldn't even count that as like his.
I mean, he was a bigger part of it, but I can see either or on that.
I'll put it in there because I'm so far I haven't really picked one yet. X-Men Origins Wolverine, that's definitely no, but he was a big part. No, he wasn't. So The Proposal. Let's see, Buried. I remember that one. I remember it was not as good as it should have been. Green Lantern. I like that movie more than other people do. I did not like The Change Up. Safe House was okay. You know, the bad part about that movie is that it was following, Training Day and stuff, and it just didn't live up. But I mean, it wasn't bad. R.I.P.D., which is, it was okay. I don't remember him in A Million Ways to Die in the West, but I know he wasn't the lead. I didn't watch Selfless. Obviously, Deadpool. Deadpool was number 1. Wow, there's a lot of Deadpool here. Okay. Why is there so much Deadpool? Still doing Deadpool. Hitman's Bodyguard. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, I'm thinking of the Bodyguard. Okay. So Hitman's Bodyguard, I did like that. Of course, there's Deadpool 2. Lots more Deadpool. I don't understand why. Okay, Detective Pikachu. I'm going to put that in there. 6 Underground. I remember it. I liked it.
I liked it.
Yeah. I didn't watch the whole Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. I know you did. Free Guy. Red Notice, I did like that. Adam Project was okay. Bullet Train. Who was he in Bullet Train?
He was the guy who they killed the Russians. He was like a cameo at the end.
Okay.
Because the guy called in sick, and so Brad Pitt had to take his place.
Right.
It was Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
Spoiler. I mean, if you didn't watch it.
All right, so I'm going to pick 10. I'm going to try to pick 10. Oh, my goodness. All right. Green Lantern, I know.
I got your account for you.
Safe House.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put R.I.P.D. at the bottom.
But it's on the list.
Yep, Deadpool definitely. I guess I'm gonna put Deadpool 2 in there. Well, they're both.
If you do Deadpool.
Oh, I Saw Life. Oh, that was a scary movie.
Yeah, it was in space.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I don't remember if he was the main.
He was one of the main. He wasn't the main, but it was like 3 main characters. He was one of them.
Hitman's Bodyguard.
So are you doing Life?
Yeah, we'll just put it on there for now. Detective Pikachu, 6 Underground, Free Guy, Red Notice. Is that 10?
Mm-hmm.
Shoot. Okay. Take off Life and put the Atom Project.
Good movie.
All right. So the reason that I did this is because, recency bias, as opposed to nostalgia. Do I like what's his name? I can't think of his name. Jim Carrey. Do I like his movies more because that's what I grew up with, or do I like Ryan Reynolds because he's what's hip and hot, hot now? And I'm trying to figure out which of the two is it.
Me personally, you want to know my opinion?
Go for it.
Not of what you said, but just of my comparison of the two. Because I did mine of Jim Carrey, and I was looking at my Ryan Reynolds movies.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I feel like their careers are even.
Okay.
But I like some of Jim Carrey's movies more than I like some of the Ryan Reynolds movies.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why I said they're even is because even after I do 10 Jim Carrey movies, it's not like, oh, there's 10 more that I can pick. Even after I pick 10 of Ryan Reynolds movies, it's not 10 more to pick. Like it's still, I'm not gonna say it's a struggle to pick 10, but there's still not a lot. The pool isn't large enough. So that way I feel like their careers are even because in my mind they both have 10 good movies, but then they have some other movies that are kind of like, all right.
Yeah.
And they also have some that I've never heard of as well. But as far as like, if I'm looking at the 10 versus the 10 of Ryan versus the 10 Jim, I'm going to pick the 10 of Jim Carrey's, which partly because of some of them I grew up with, but partly because some of them I like better than the ones However, okay, I said this way. It's probably going to contradict myself. I like the overall 10 that I picked from Jim Carrey, but some of the ones that I picked from Ryan Reynolds their highs are higher than the movies in Jim Carrey's list.
Yeah, I agree.
Like not all of them. Some of them are a whole lot better than any movie Jim Carrey has done. However, I like more of Jim Carrey's movies than I do of Ryan Reynolds' movies.
And the reason I'm going to pick Jim Carrey is because I think that his movies have more of a variety, as opposed to I was going to say Jim Carrey. Ryan Reynolds is an action person who was funny, a quipper, as opposed to and I guess you can kind of what's the word, make Jim Carrey just somebody who's just over the top funny, but he doesn't
really do. He only has very few serious movies.
But he got God's power at one point, and then another time he was like he could not necessarily talk to animals, but like the subject matter of his movies are a little bit more diverse as opposed to just somebody who shoots people and says funny things.
But they're still comedies.
Yeah, but
because here's the thing, action movies, whether you want to relegate it as just action movies, still have. The content can still be different as well, but they're still action movies.
As opposed to, you have a superhero versus, a bodyguard.
But all his action movies are not superheroes or bodyguards either.
Yeah, but okay, maybe I'm just.
The point I'm making, I hear what you're saying as far as like the content of the movies, but the point I'm making is whether the content is different in those comedies and those actions aren't. They're still at the end of the day action movies versus comedy movies.
Sure. So I'm just going to throw it out there, even though this wasn't Jim Carrey's lead. Sonic, he did a little bit of action. The number 23 was a more serious movie. I'm sure Brian Reynolds done serious movies as well. Mm-hmm. But I'm sticking with Jim Carrey.
The only two serious movies Jim Carrey has, three rather. You have The Majestic, number 23, Man on the Moon.
What is Eternal Sunshine? Like, is that him?
I think that's Bill Murray.
Wow. Okay. Okay. I mean, we can look it up, but I'm not saying.
I didn't see it on the list. So I could be.
I want to know, like who.
I want to say it's Bill Murray though. It's either Bill Murray. It could be Jim. I don't know. I didn't see it on his list.
Yeah, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That's okay.
Well, it went on the list I looked at.
I don't even know if it's comedy. What is it?
It's not. It's like I don't think it's a comedy. But point I'm making is.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds has more than just action.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Carrey has more than comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But as a whole, it's an action person versus an action person who does comedy over a comedian who has serious notes, undertones, right? So that's generally who they are, right? No matter what the movie talks about, no matter what the movie discusses, whether it's in an action movie, whether you have a comedy movie where they talk about serious content.
I got you. I got you a while ago.
It's still a comedy movie.
Yeah, I got you. So just the fact that you pointed out, one's action, one's comedy, made me feel like I thought I was doing apples to apples, and nope, oh word.
Well, it can be like, because like you said, Ryan Reynolds, even though he does mainly action movies, he's a comedic action person.
Yeah.
As opposed to like a Danny Glover who has maybe some funny lines or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, he does action movies, but he adds comedy to them, so he's kind of like a comedic action. I don't know if that's a thing.
So just disregard the last 10 minutes. We're going to come back with another comparison that's better.
It's all good, man. But like I said, now if you want to disregard all of that and just look at them actor to actor, they are a good comparison in the sense of the movie pool to choose from. Mm-hmm. It's more of an equal argument as opposed to like Eddie Murphy, who has done like, and I'm just throwing random numbers out there, who's done like 50 movies, and like 15 of them, well, let's say 50 movies and 25 of them are good, mm-hmm. to where Martin Lawrence has done 25 movies and 13 of them are good.
Right. So
it's kind of like it's more of equal pool to pull from, because you got Jim Carrey and Ryan Reynolds, who both they've done quite a bit, but not a whole lot. Mm-hmm. But they've also got movies where we both are like, what is that?
When I first put up Ryan Reynolds, it said 117 movies. I was like, holy crap, I didn't know it. And then like 10 of them were for Deadpool 1 and 10 of them were for Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
So.
Well, then too, like, and they've also been in other, like Anchorman. I don't know why I didn't think that. I don't know why my mind just automatically assumed that was his movie, but it's not. So it's like they've also had like cameos and stuff too.
Yeah. Which,
that was a good cameo in Anchorman too.
I don't remember it.
It was in a sports fight.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I don't know. So I didn't like Anchorman 1, but I did like Anchorman 2. So I kind of want to go back and watch Anchorman 1 because, like, I'm sure I don't know what kind of mindset I was in, but if I like 2, I probably would like 1.
You just like Megan Good.
She was.
She was his boss in the second one.
Yes, sir.
That's what it was. I don't know. Anything else you got?
No, Megan Good was like every black boy's.
You still thinking about Megan Good?
No. So, you got anything?
You want to do a Would You Rather before we go?
Let's do it.
I feel like it's become a thing.
It's tradition.
Yeah. All right. We'll do 2.
Okay.
Keep it short.
Okay.
Would you rather all the chats on your phone become public?
Okay.
Or all the photos on your phone become public?
Well, I've got different phones for different reasons, so the one that has a cell phone bill, that those pictures can become public.
So basically you gonna do your loophole that you were saying?
Yep, that's exactly what we're doing.
All right, let's say you have one phone.
Well, you just say all your pictures, right?
This is true.
Okay, so yeah, let's
all of it from all your phones.
Yeah, let's do text messages then.
Okay.
What about you?
I feel like I'm gonna go with text messages. Yeah, I do text messages.
Let's just leave it at that.
Here's the thing. I don't really have any like super bad pictures like that for real, but I just feel like text messages are easier to explain.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, what's this about? Oh, we were just talking.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't really have, unlike some people, I don't have because I have group chats with multiple people, or multiple groups of people, but like. It's not like in our group chats we're like, oh, we dogging out somebody or talking about. So it's not like,
yep.
I don't really,
I wonder how many people would choose, text messages over, social media. What's the word? Inboxes.
Oh, that's something. That's,
Yeah.
a different story.
All
right, last one.
Okay.
Would you rather be bulletproof or be able to survive falls from any height?
I want to, bulletproof. Like I've never wanted to jump off a building before.
You already know. I've just
yeah.
But in the sake of this question, I would probably do bulletproof as well.
Yeah, most definitely.
I don't know why. It's not like God forbid, it's not like I'm just running around getting shot at. But I feel like I would rather be bulletproof.
So that brings up the John Wick thing because, the Kevlar is bulletproof, but you can get stabbed. So is it the same thing? Like if you...
I don't know.
Because it didn't say, you're stab proof, but either way it go, I still take bulletproof.
I don't know. I do bulletproof as well.
Yeah. All right, guys. What did you want to expect?
Nah,
okay.
I'm good.
Thanks for listening. We appreciate y'all. Tune in next week. We'll have another. Anyway, you can find me on Instagram at HAPPEE __ MILLS. You can find me on Twitter at HAPPY _ MILLS. I don't know if I'm getting requests from you guys, but if you do send me a friend request, please send a message saying, "Hey, I found you from the podcast." Because
I do get some too. I don't know who they are, but I get them.
Yeah.
All right. You can find me
in St. Louis.
Every time I say it. Every time. You can find me on Instagram, DA_bear29. We have a TikTok.
Yes.
This is the second TikTok.
Yes.
I must admit, with this TikTok, I don't know what to do with it.
I'm going home and I'm gonna, create a video as we speak.
Well, here's the thing about it. It's not. I'm hurt because it's like we had the original TikTok, right, and it was just growing, and it was growing. People were watching the video, commenting on the videos, saving videos, and then I felt like and this is just my own internal thoughts, but like I felt like, okay, the TikTok page is growing, right? Obviously, I feel like the missing piece was to translate that growth onto the podcast page to get, which not saying that we weren't getting, like decent enough, listeners and stuff like that. But I felt like if we could just take all these people who like these videos and comment, if we could get them over here, because I felt like if we had that same group, and then once we started adding the video piece, and like, oh, video of these guys that I've already been following and liking videos from, I felt like that would have started the bridge the gap. But then TikTok said no. We're gonna start you from scratch.
We have to start paying you? No.
So now I'm just kind of like, I don't even know. I don't know, man. But every great success story has some downfalls.
Yes. Preach.
That's all I'm gonna say.
And nope, that's the opposite. I was thinking of Bruce Almighty, like the bedrock of the Niagara. He rode him from but I was going to say I want to go like the Phoenix rising from the ashes is where I want to go, but anyway.
By Grathar's hammer, I shall avenge thee. Galaxy Quest.
Okay. I heard Thor's hammer, but I don't know what you said before that.
By Grathar's hammer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No wonder I didn't understand it.
I shall avenge thee.
So you're a Galaxy Quest guy.
I like that movie, man.
Okay.
It's a good movie. Good Tim Allen. Good Snape. Whatever his real name is.
Alan Rickman. I'm just hoping this video hasn't cut off. I was thinking about it.
Oh. Alright, guys.
That's not what. Okay. Yeah.
The TikTok is being short of
Yeah. And
Yeah, it's that big.
Instagram too. Yeah.
Yeah, Instagram will take it to all that. Well, I may need to rework that because it's tagged to your old page that isn't there. So we have to tag. I have to tag to the new page. I didn't even think about that until now.
Okay.
But you find it.
Yeah. Thanks for rocking with us, guys.
Take care.